taking game 1 against Creator. Foreigners versus Koreans, so far it's 3-0 in a round of 8 for the non-Korean side. Creator is going to try to strike back here in Antigua.
Yeah, of course. We'll try to bring you guys live updates as the stream goes along, so you guys are as informed as you can possibly be. But you're watching Stream 2. My name is Axel Toss. I am joined by Axlev, and here we are in game number 2 on Antigua Shipyard. At the top left-hand location, we have the red Protoss player, Creator. Very strong Protoss, seemingly unbeatable in this tournament, but Vortix saying, you know what, whatever, man, no big deal, taking down game 1 without too much trouble. Of course, he is your blue Zerg player in the bottom right-hand location. I say without too much trouble, a little bit hesitantly, because it did look a little bit scary, Creator with that ridiculous stalker push, but once Vortix kind of held that off, Creator, like, his backup plan was taking that fourth, maybe that fourth was a little bit earlier, but again, I think Creator's intention there was to kill Vortix off the 3 bases, and he almost did, but Vortix was able to get those 4 Broodlords out, and I'm actually really surprised Creator didn't try to warp in inside his opponent's main base. Again, his mentality, I feel like, was, all right, let's just invest everything into this Blink Stalker 3-base push and not necessarily try to harass the main, because harassing the main, that would be like that'd be a secondary thing, that would be part of not necessarily defensive play, but non-all-in play, which I feel like Creator was more going for.
Exactly. I mean, the whole goal there is, if you're engaging with your main army, you have to warp in everything with that main army, because even if you do a lot of damage in the main, if your main army gets totally cleaned up, you're going to be way behind no matter how much damage you do in the main. So
right.
Exactly. It's a situation here where the Warp Prism was there with intent that if Vortix was going to give up the 4th and back up and have a really good concave, spine core, and faster wall, then Creator would say, you know what, I can't push in for the 3rd. Let's warp in the main, and then maybe it'll distract him. Then I can push in. But Vortix tried to defend the 4th. He actually failed. And so in that case, Creator, smelled blood in the water, tried to push in for the win, and it was just super, super tight. I mean, like, 5 more Stalkers there, or if the Stalkers, got a few more shots at his Broodlords before they morphed, it could have been a totally different story, but it was, I feel
like once Vortix held that off, it wasn't too big of an issue. Yeah, it wasn't too big of an issue to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, even though the economy was equal, if it's Hive Tech versus Stalker Colossi...
No Mothership. I don't even think he had a Stargate.
He did not. So the Zerg army is much more cost efficient at that point, just because Creator was really committed so much to that push. That as soon as Vortix held it, he had a nice lead. I mean, it wasn't over, but he was able to close it out there. But Creator, I mean, that push was so close to breaking Vortix. And Antigua is actually a map that's probably even better for these 3-base pushes. It's a very, very, very powerful tool on Antigua Shipyard.
Yeah, we've seen some interesting pushes from Protosses lately, as we have a score update. Rain up 1-0 against Killer so far in their series. Of course, Rain, a very good Protoss player, probably considered one of the best in the world, but Creator, I think he's up there as well. It's kind of even right now between the foreigners and the Koreans.
Vortix.
He
sent a fake drone to the 3rd. The probe saw it, and he chased the probe out. Actually, I don't even know if the probe saw it or not. But he
has a gas and he has
exactly.
A
He sent a fake drone to the 3rd to make Creator think it's normal play. But he never planned on taking the 3rd. He took the gas, as soon as Creator wouldn't see it, and then he's going for a 2-base Roach-based build. And this is a great reaction. This is something I've talked to a lot of players and a lot of students of mine about. On Antigua Shipyard, there's 2 ways to wall in. One way is, of course, where you wall in at that large ramp. The disadvantage of that is that you're weaker to early pools. It's much easier to run Zergings by that situation, by that wall. And also you have to set it up a little earlier. You lose a little bit of money early on in the game. The other way is to do what most Protosses nowadays do. They wall in by the Nexus. It's a little more efficient. Your macro is up a little faster. Zerging run-bys are much easier to stop. But the disadvantage is it's much weaker to both Roach and Bane in 2-base builds, just because your Nexus and working line are so exposed, and it's much harder to do a full wall off to block that. And you know what? If Vortix realizes this, he saw that one. He knows that he could deny the scouting to Creator, and I don't know if his Creator is going to be ready to deal with these Roaches crossing the map. And this is a ton of Roaches, and there's no speed, but there's still Zerglings.
He only has 1 gateway.
He does. I mean, he's just playing a standard. Looks like it's a standard Immortal timing opening with that very, very fast robotics. 1 Stalker followed by sentries. He's going to have a sentry or 2 out, but those Roaches can just power down the Nexus, or they could go for the Forge, wrap around, kill the cannon even. And then once the cannon and the wall's down, the Zerglings are gonna just stream through, speed this or not.
Oh my gosh, this is looking so scary for Creator. Just now adding on 2 additional gateways, has an Immortal in production. Creator actually... Oh, he's backing up into his main. Vortix bringing an Overlord potentially to distract Creator as he sends a bunch of Roaches to his opponent's front door.
Oh, a greatly executed attack here. The Overlord trick is just beautiful, trying to buy some time. Roaches are in there, taking on a couple probes. They're into the cannon now. He's got to force field those back. Oh, the Zergians run through. Force field blocking someone, but without the cannon, he has no DPS.
Oh, there's another cannon in production here. The probes are forced to engage. Immortal finally getting on the field here. That's going to help a bunch. But again, he's going to sacrifice so much economy at this point in time. Vortix still with nothing but units streaming across the map. Vortix has that supply lead, but Creator trying to salvage the situation that Immortal is going to be instrumental in holding this off. Great force fields thus far, but losing so many probes.
He really lost a ton of probes here. The supplies are equal, 17 probes killed,
Oh.
but he actually still has a small work advantage. Vortix did cut massive amounts of economy to execute this build. You know
speed
what?
is like finishing and the push is like over.
It's not quite over yet. He's still got some speedings, but yeah, with this extra sentry Zelt warped in, I don't think Creator's gonna have a problem holding this. He has actually, he doesn't have the cannon. The cannon did die, the second one. Speeding's trying to come in here, but like you mentioned, I mean, I think the push is over. Vortix, he has map control, but you know what? Creator's got more food, more economy,
more tech.
Exactly. I mean, Zerg just has speed and Ro8 enabled, whereas Protoss has +1. He's got warp gate. He's got robotics facility done. It's looking really great for Creator so far. A beautiful hold.
Yeah, I love how Creator recognized that his economic advantage and recognized that he could afford to lose some probes. And sure, he lost 17 workers there, but ultimately that's going to be worth it because Vortix cut drones a long time ago in favor of getting that gas up and saving up the money for the roaches and for all those links. So I love that move from Creator, able to keep himself alive. And as you said, now he finds himself in a pretty dramatic advantage here. And the question is, what is his follow-up going to be? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him push with 2 or 3 Immortals and then a bunch of Gateway supplementation.
It looks like he might be going for that. More probes on the way. We'll find out very soon, as he will stop at 45 probes if he wishes to go for that build. It looks like a war prison being built right now. Does he have 2 Immortals or just 1 out currently?
2.
Okay, 2. So he could be doing a
2
Immortal,
Yep.
maybe 1 more warp and cycle, and then he could push out. He actually doesn't have. He only has 6 gateways, so he might just push out to take a 3rd.
That's true.
It's really hard. I mean, of course, the way the opening worked is really a little bit funky. So all the timings are totally thrown out the window when you have an opening like this. It's really hard to tell.
It's more important to recognize, okay, how far is my opponent along the tech tree? Will this, will this 2 Immortal mass gateway push, be as strong as in another game if it was a standard game? And I think it absolutely will be.
His observer sees the mass speedings running out. This means he's going to delay his push out for just a little bit because you do not want to push out with predominantly sentries against this many speedings. Sure, you can force field to keep yourself alive, but then the speedings run away, and you just wasted a ton of force fields for no real gain. He's going to wait for a few more warp ins, and he's going to move out. Looks like some Zealots. That's a beautiful choice to warp in. He did cut probes at, I believe, 45, so he is doing that 2 base time. His 7th gateway being produced. Warp Prism is out in the field now. His sentries are actually in a little bit of an exposed position, but he does have 5 Zealots with him. That should be enough that he doesn't have to worry about these people.
All right, Vortix trying to find some room to do a counterattack. Looks like he's going to try to engage here. Force fields going down here from a Creator. Immortal getting isolated outside the force fields. Creator adding on more and more force fields here, and Vortix forced to run away. Creator has way too much stuff now, up 98 to 80 in supply, and the beauty of this push is he has the Warp Prism here, so he doesn't have to worry about setting up any forward pylons. And now Vortix, he kind of has to rely on just counterattacks. There's no way he can engage this army straight up.
I don't think he can. I mean, normally Zerg has a hard time engaging this when they're up about 40 to 50 food. Vortix is not up 40 to 50 food. He's down by about over 10 right now. So I don't know. Maybe he spines on the main and hope to win with a counterattack. But actually, Creator's got his defense perfect. 3 sentries, 2 Zealots. Oh, Roja's getting cut off.
GG. Wow. Vortix throwing down the GG. Going for the earlier cheese there, with the roaches and the Ling aggression. But